Hello and welcome to the Art of Learning. Now let's move on to the second segment of today's program, wherein we are going to talk about the new education policy. Before we begin, let me tell you that education policy was first started in India way back in 1968 under the Kothari Commission. The second policy came into effect in 1986 under the Prime Ministership of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, wherein he changed the name of the Education Minister to Human Resource Minister, and P.V. Narasimha Rao became the first HRD Minister. There were certain minor amendments made in the same policy in 1992. Since 1992, after 28 years, in 2020, the new education policy has again come in. We also need to bear in mind that this is not a legal or a constitutional document. This is just a visionary document based on which the education system of India is going to run henceforth. Every policy that has been started has always been laced with problems. The main screaming point in the education system in India is that our education does not get us jobs. Also, it's very irrelevant from what we are actually doing in our real lives. I'll give you an example. For example, what we are doing today and what we learned in the history books regarding the war between Kauravas and the Pandavas, does it have any relevance to what we are doing now? No. We all have studied about the Indus Valley civilization. However, what relevance does that has with what we are doing today? I understand it's good to know knowledge, but it's far from being relevant to our day-to-day lives. While making this video, we had numerous discussions with people from various strata of the society. And through those discussions, the major points that has surfaced has been addressed by us in this video. We are never ever claiming that it has touched on all the parts of the education policy. Remember that this video is primarily for discussion. If you find that there are certain points which has not been addressed by us, please do not hesitate to put them in the comment box and we will surely address them going in future. Also remember that there are certain glitches in terms of audio. We apologize. Please use headphones for better quality. So without further ado, let's start. The first point that we have touched upon is the change of name. The HRD ministry has now been renamed to the Ministry of Education. There are people who are actually questioning the rationale of this name change. So we posed this very question to an ex-teacher of Central Model School, and this is what he had to say.
Personally speaking, I think that the name has become broader, which means that previously when they used to say the Ministry of Human Resources, they actually wanted to say that the human resources are getting produced, or it's mainly related to providing professional education. However, now they have implemented professional education within the education system, but they have named it as the Ministry of Education. So instead of saying it the Ministry of Human Resources, when we say it's the Ministry of Education, I think the name becomes much broader and it will help the students to prosper and help the students to understand the subjects much better. And other than that, I personally feel that a change of name is not going to impact the education system. We need to consider more on what kind of changes have been brought by the new education system or the new policy of education system in India.
Having heard that viewpoint, we took this question to a very senior manager of a leading IT company in Kolkata, and this was what he had to say.
We know that Ministry of Human Resources is the ministry which takes care of education portfolio. Now it has been proposed that instead of Ministry of Human Resources, it would be known as Ministry of Education. I don't think it would have any impact because change in nomenclature would not change the way this ministry has been functioning for so many years. Hence, it would hardly make any difference.
The second point that we have touched upon is the inclusion of vocational training, which includes coding in the general curriculum. Many people are of the opinion that this will actually lessen the importance of conventional education. Our ex-teacher of Central Model School has this to say on this.
Vocational training will rather enhance the application of the conventional education. And you must remember that here we are to change the conventional process of education because the education system has not been changed for 200 years. I repeat, the education system of India has not been changed for 200 years. So the change is imminent and vocational training would empower the students to get more jobs and more opportunities in their life.
Regarding the inclusion of vocational training, this is what the senior manager had to say.
I think that's definitely a welcome move because over the years we have witnessed that vocational training is extremely significant from skill enhancement standpoint, and it is very important for making students more empowered in terms of getting employment.
On the inclusion of vocational training, this is what an eminent English teacher had to say.
With the opening of so many new avenues of careers, vocational training and coding are definitely promising ventures. The generation we are dealing with are much more tech savvy and fast learner. They are interested in hands-on teaching learning experiences. So this venture will surely draw their interest but however it is still an experimental one.
As per the new education policy, the choice of subjects, or rather the subject combination, depends totally upon the discretion of the student. Our teacher of Central Model School is of the following opinion.
That you can study any subject you want and there is no differentiation between science, arts and commerce. And you can even study physics with accounts or history with biology. So what is actually the need of studying this kind of subjects or this kind of subject? It's a great question. But let me tell you that the society has changed and the job market has also changed in due course. You need to remember that we are generating something in the next generation known as liquid workforce. If you are new with the term, let me tell you that this is a kind of job where you might be a lawyer today, an engineer tomorrow, and a teacher the very next day or day after tomorrow. You need to prepare yourself because now internet is the main sea of knowledge. Internet is the place where you can get any kind of knowledge you want. In regards to any sector. So the human race expects you to be ready about any subject just by learning from the internet. The way of thinking is changing, man. The way of thinking is changing in next generation, and you have to adapt yourself with the way of thinking of the next generation. You need to get out of your mind all the conventional thinking that you have only one designation in your life, the conventional thinking that you are only going to do one job throughout your life. That's the kind of option or opportunity which is going to get completely erased from the planet in the next generation.
And the manager of the leading IT company had this to say on this.
I'd like to touch upon the aspect wherein it has been proposed that going forward there would be no restriction in terms of subject combinations. It would be at the discretion of the students to choose combinations as per their wish. For an example, if a student wants to study history with physics, he or she can do that. It's a revolutionary change, I must say, and apparently it looks very open, and I would say it's absolutely free from any prejudice, that there is no restriction, there is no good or bad subject. You can study as per your wish, and that should happen in a free society. There is a reason behind these combinations, because we don't want to produce jack of all trades and master of none. Rather, we should have more people in the society who have specializations in certain topics, certain subjects. I think this move is not right, because a person who have graduated in science can definitely go ahead and study other subjects of his choice. For an example, a person who loves literature, there is no harm in going ahead and doing his post graduation in literature, and after that he develops an interest in astronomy, and he can study that as well. So in the existing ecosystem there is no such restriction. However, academically we should not mix up all subjects. Science should be categorized as science, arts should be categorized as arts. It sounds a little conventional, but that's the way it should be.
New education policy has also changed the structure of the system of education. Previously, it was based on a 10 plus 2 plus 3 structure, which has now been changed to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure. This will include 12 years of schooling and 3 years of Anganwadi or preschooling. Let's hear the stand of the English teacher of Central Model School.
Well, let me tell you that the 10 plus 2 plus 3 system was like secondary, higher secondary and grads. But it's the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system, which means that the first education will be completed when you will reach class 5 or 5th grade. Till 5th grade, you will basically be learning the elementary language and the elementary numeracy. There will be nothing else, right? There will only be elementary language skills, that is your mother language, and your second language, which is English, as well as your elementary arithmetic. The skills are going to change till class 8, where you will basically be learning coding and the skills related to vocational education. And in the next 3 years, you're going to get a choice about the kind of subjects you're going to study in your secondary and higher secondary level. Now that's the basic difference, guys. Like when you will be studying the first 5 will be your elementary language and arithmetic, the next 3 will be your coding, programming languages, and your skills for the next higher studies, and the next 3 will be your first elementary education related to higher studies, and the next 4 years will be your grads, which is your foundation for the elementary education which you have learned in school.
Since there has been a change in the structure that this new education policy has brought in, there has also been a concern that this might probably lead to more number of college dropouts. Let's get to hear from our teacher first.
In this regard, I can say that the college dropouts were always there. It was always there since times immemorial. And these college dropouts, they used to call themselves undergraduates. And they used to call themselves that they are only 10 plus 2, that is, they are only high secondary. But they had not got the opportunity yet to study the first year, second year of the college and drop out in the middle and get a certificate. But this new education system would help you to call yourself first year graduate instead of only high secondary. Remember this, a second year graduate instead of only high secondary. So this is a kind of new opportunity where you are going to get your degrees for 3 respective years, or each year you are going to get a degree.
And this is the opinion of our senior manager.
I would like to talk about the apprehension regarding possible dropouts from colleges. I don't think it is the right assumption, because dropouts happen for multiple reasons, and this policy is yet to be implemented. It would not be right to assume that this policy would lead to dropouts from colleges.
There has also been a huge debate on the inclusion, or rather the imposition, of mother tongue as the medium of teaching. Many people are saying that this is actually a masquerade of imposing Hindi. However, we need to bear in mind that the meaning or the method of opposition has actually changed today. Now people oppose anything just for the heck of it. However, let's get to hear it right from the horse's mouth.
The Indian education system, there were always provisions to study every mother tongue as people's first language. Like the Bengalis used to study Bengali as their first language. There was also provisions for having Urdu as first language, having Tamil as first language. So first language was not the main thing. And I think while making this question, you have somewhat misunderstood the main concept, but rather the mother language as well as the second language is given emphasis till class 5. Since class 6, you have to study all the language, all the subjects as well, all the subjects in English. That is, English will be the medium of instruction, because the online test would be impossible without it. Basically, the students will have to type their answers into a document that is in English. So English would be the medium of instruction, however your mother language will be the first language, and you will get all the opportunity to study both your mother language as well as a foreign language in this curriculum.
There has also been a large cry regarding this new education policy being detrimental to the interests of people who has taken up private tuitions as their profession. They say that this new education policy will actually make private tuitions redundant. Let's get to hear it from our teacher.
School education has always dreamt of such an education system where the school education would have been enough. However, it has always been said that the school education was not complete because there were more than 60 or 70 students in the classroom, and the school teachers were not able to impart the education within the classroom, and that's the reason the students needed to go to private tutors for it. Now, if you build up an education system where open book tests, where internet, where videos, and where the students are capable themselves, it's a matter of pride for us.
This new education policy has brought about very, very major changes. One change which we have to mention here is the way of taking exams. We can use the term open book test, however, do not jump up and down with joy. You will not be allowed to copy directly. There would be answers available on the net or on the resources which would be made available to you. You would be able to take certain portions of the answers. However, remember that the final answers should be made in your own words. If you just copy paste, it will not be taken into consideration. With this we come to the end of today's episode. Remember, in the beginning I told you that this video is primarily made for the purpose of discussion. So if you feel that there are certain points which we have not touched upon, or there are certain points on which we need to elaborate further, please do not hesitate to put them in the comment box. We will certainly take it up from there. If you like this video, or if you find that this video has been helpful, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. And for such other videos, please press the bell icon. Ciao for now.